Hello. Happy Tuesday. How's it going this morning? How you doing? Welcome in. It's a pleasure to have you, and it is a pleasure to be here. Kooky, first person in. Good to see you. How you doing today? Good to see you. Hope your Tuesday's off to a good start there. I'm going to go ahead and get my chat set up so everybody can talk to everybody. Oh, hello. Big rush of folks coming in there. Howdy, everyone. Howdy, howdy. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Good to see y'all. You got the day off today, Kooky. Hey, rock on. That's what I want to hear. Good stuff. What's your plans? What's your big plans for the day off? What do you got going on? My plans at present are to get chat working. So let's see if that worked. Okay, YouTube chat's working. And TikTok chat. What are we doing? You want to work here? I believe in you. Chores, drawing, and reading mostly. Hey, Kooky, that sounds very good. Hey, nothing wrong with that. That's a good day off, in my opinion. Good morning, AR Roslyn. My TikTok chat is not pushing through to combined chat, which happens every morning because TikTok is difficult to work with. So, fingers crossed we get it going here. So I can focus on y'all. There it is. Okay, we're in. I think we're in. Can someone send me a message in chat real quick? Test to see if it's showing up. It shows mine. I think it should show yours. There it is. All right, we're good to go. Thank you, Megan Harding. You said I was up till 1 a.m. writing, and now I'm dragging and trying to go to the gym. Oof, Megan, I've been there. That's a rough one. It's so tempting to borrow against that time, right? Stay up a little bit later, get a little more work done, and then it hurts so bad in the morning. It is rough. Just know I'm with you on this one, Megan. That's brutal. Fingers crossed for you. I hope it's an easy day and you can go home and get some rest. He made a good decision there. Shout out to him. Very necessary. Otherwise, you just suffer all next day long. It's painful. But good. I hope that the gym goes well, and you're not too tired today. AR Roslyn, welcome in. You said I had work till 1:30 a.m. Now I'm walking my son to school. My goodness, that's a late night. That's a late night. Maybe the morning walk will shake it off for you, though. That would be ideal, huh? Get some fresh air, a little bit of energy. Y'all, I could go for a walk right now. Just kind of wake you up a little bit, you know. Yeah, Aaron. I think we are back to writing today. But what is the question? I can keep working on Paragon. I need to keep working on Paragon, but I don't know. I wasn't really feeling the inspiration for it today, so maybe I work on something else. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Unaspiring writer, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you, and a very happy Tuesday to you. How you doing, buddy? AR, you said overtime? Okay. Well, hey, overtime means 2 times pay, right? Or 1.5 times, depending on where you're at. Oh, Megan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Today is probably going to be rough, but hey, we're pulling for you. We'll send a little bit of energy your way. Some good vibes. I hope that the coffee is strong and the work is light. We'll go with that, huh? Aaron said, do you have any other projects in the works right now? I always have something in the works, y'all. There's always a couple books going. I am better as a one-track mind kind of guy. One book at a time, you know. Somehow it never stays that way. Somehow the story ideas multiply, making up my own words here, multiply, and there's always something else to work on. So I'm just taking a little look in here. There's always something else to write, so we'll see. We'll see what happens today. So yeah. Well, welcome in, folks. Good to see everyone. Welcome back to a regular stream. Yesterday's map making Monday, I guess, on account of the bad internet on Friday, was pretty fun. What about y'all? I was having a good old time. Very, very fun, exciting, fresh. A lot of good ideas from chat. I appreciate that, everybody. I gotta slam the coffee so we can wake up in here now. But yeah, I guess we're back to our normal today. The question is, like I said, what to write? Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Aaron. It has been fun. A lot of folks have been getting their advanced review copies of Wriggly Little Hands lately. There seems like all of them are arriving at once, so a lot of folks are unboxing the new book. And it's been fun seeing folks react to it. I put a fair bit of work into the ARC packet for it. It's like wrapped in crinkly paper, and it's got a burned little note on the top of it. It looks like it's supposed to look like the goblins delivered it. And pretty much the only thing I didn't have on there was bite marks based on their package handling prowess. But no, I'm glad to see that in people's hands, and we're getting real close here, folks. The soft launch of the paperback is going to be May 9th, so that's Friday after next. That's creeping up. I believe I will be very soon submitting it, for launch. We're going to be submitting the final or near final files very soon here to queue it for the soft launch and then the full launch and the pre-order. So that's exciting stuff. I'm excited to get to that. A little bit always nervous at this point. I just want to have it all nice and smoothed out. Kooky, you said on the topic of Wriggly Little Hands, aren't you doing a novella for that? Kooky, I am. You are spot on. I will be actually emailing my cover artist today. We're going to email him cover ideas today for the novella, and he'll be working on that. We should have a cover here in a couple weeks. And starting May 12th on stream, I intend to start writing the Wriggly Little novella, as I call it, for the 2 weeks leading up to launch and the 1 week afterward. So we'll be having some more goblin shenanigans. It's going to be a good time. Starting off our days with bad jokes and silly scenarios. Unaspiring Writer said, what about a little snippet about an author trying to figure out what to write? Some meta writing. I'm not sure I want to stumble too deep down the metaphysical rabbit hole there, Unaspiring Writer. I spend enough time worrying what to write. We just got to dive into it. Got to pick something. Daniel Morgan, good to see you. How you doing? Happy Tuesday to you, my friend. Been a couple days. Hope you're doing well. Hope you got a good week going here. Poison Apple Tea, hello, hello. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Hope your exams went well. Welcome back in. Good to see you. Sloyd, same for you, my friend. Good morning. And Jasmine Seawright, you as well. Hey, hello to both of you. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. How are y'all doing on this lovely Tuesday? I can tell you for me, the coffee's warm. The fingers are warming up, are waking up, and we'll get some words on the keyboard here pretty soon. Kooky said, do you have a title for it just yet, for the Wriggly Little novella? I'm just calling it Wriggly Little Novella at the moment, Kooky. But we're going to actually come up with a title for it, but that'll be the working title. I often do that. I often have working titles for pieces while I'm writing them until the title comes to me. Actually, fun fact, Wriggly Little Hands was called Horses, Wagons, and Dragons for the entirety of its writing process. Actually, it wasn't until well after in editing that title came to me. And even then it felt a risk, but I think it was the right title. I think it was the right direction to go. Poison, you finished your finals? Rock on. I hope they went well. Good for you. Good job. Now you get to relax a little bit, I hope. A little bit of downtime after all that hard work. Daniel, congrats on finishing the show. I hope it went well. I'm trying to remember what you guys were putting on. It was Into the Woods, I believe. Um, Very fun, very classic musical. Not really my cup of tea, but I know a lot of folks like it. I hear Act 1 is better than Act 2. A lot more fun. And then Act 2 is just devastating. AJ, my friend, hello. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday, man. How are you today? How's your day kicking off? Hopefully good, and if not, hopefully we can make it good. Sloyd, you said what was the original name? The original name, I'll put it in chat for you, was Horses, Wagons, and Dragons. It was a play on planes, trains, and automobiles because it is a road trip comedy. So I was trying to signal that, but multiple people in a row just didn't get it. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not a good sign. That might not be a good title then. Oh, okay, Daniel, you did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory most recently, and Into the Woods comes later. I gotcha. Well, cool. I hope that went well. I haven't seen that one actually. It sounds like it could be a fun one. It's like the practical effects have to be difficult in that one, Daniel. So, did you like the new name, or you like the old name, but you get the change? Yeah, I think the new name, the new name is very atmospheric. It tells you what to expect tonally from the story. You know, it's about slimy little goblins getting their wriggly little hands into some misadventure. Whereas the older title, Horses, Wagons, and Dragons, was a little more trying to pitch the concept, I suppose. But yeah, it worked out in the end. It was probably the hardest book to name, though. I had no idea where I was going with it for a long time. Rafi, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Eyes bleary, head cloudy, but you're here, my friend. At least I'm assuming. Let me know if I'm correct. Daniel, you said the turnout was good. The music is insane. We have a set of parents who build sets for movies, so it helps. Wow, that's a nice resource. It's a very nice resource to have, Daniel. Rock on to them. I've always been interested in the whole backstage set building part of musicals. My wife and I almost got involved in it here right before COVID hit, and that kind of put a damper on those plans, huh? Oh, good. I'm glad you got those people hanging out with you, helping out, putting on good shows. Neozect, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, man. Welcome in. Good to have you. How are you doing on this Tuesday? Welcome to our writing stream. Yesterday we were making fantasy maps. Today I think we're going to write some words. Let's, real quick, I'll show y'all. If you missed yesterday, I can show you what we did. As soon as I set my display capture to the correct place. Ah, there it is. It's working. There we go. Here was yesterday, folks. Once I center it. We put a lot of work into the map yesterday. It was a good little stream. Good little stream. Mostly worked right down in here in these mountains and these hills. Which I think might be a little crowded looking on it, you know, with fresh eyes. But hey, we'll come back and work on it later this week. So yeah, make sure you're here Friday. We'll continue the work on the fantasy map. It was good progress yesterday. But today we writing, folks. Manchu says, I helped build a stage for a play in high school in my tech theater class. It fell apart. Oh, no. That's not good. Did it fall apart of its own accord, or was it some misuse? Was someone acting a little too hard? Neo says, sitting at work, watching the stream while typing, trying to do legal assistant stuff. Oh, okay. Hey, well, welcome in. We're glad to have you. We're gonna queue up a word sprint here in a moment. So you know what? Let's go ahead and put the timer on screen, and hopefully the sounds of the keyboard can help you with whatever you're working on. Daniel says that's why I direct. Impage, hello, my friend. Welcome in. Welcome in. How you doing? Good to see you again. Neo, you said I'm currently working on my first novel. Hey, put the coffee down, first of all. Congrats, my dude. Congrats. That's awesome. Started off as a short story, and now I'm 135 pages deep. Neo, you are after my heart. That is my biggest advice I give to folks, is start with short stories. Start with short stories. They teach you how to write novels, you know? They teach you how to write novels. So that's awesome. I'm glad that it started as a short story. I'm glad that it expanded into what it's become for you. Could you give us a tease what it's about? Give us a little genre or a little plot summary or something? Let us know. No worries. But if you're interested, I'm sure we'd be happy to know. Manchu said we went to lift a part of it, and that part of the set fell apart. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Nonsensical. That makes sense to me. Restaurant forks have been in more people's mouths than you can imagine. Yeah, that makes sense. And I suppose tying it back to musicals, Daniel Morgan, we just went and saw Waitress at our local theater. So speaking of forks and musicals, that seems a nice crossover. So y'all, I got to get to writing something, but I was saying a minute ago, I'm not feeling Paragon 5 today. I'm just not, the inspiration's not there for it today. And I'm not, I don't want to force it, so I'm kind of trying to think, what should I work on today? So there's projects in the background. I just got to kind of pick one, y'all. Maybe we do some world building for one of my back burner projects. Yeah, we could do a warm-up Mad Lib, as Poison Apple Tea suggested. Appreciate that. Could do that. Yeah, I think I'm kind of liking the idea of a little bit of world building for one of my back burner projects. I definitely want to get to it one day, just not on the publishing calendar as of yet. Neo, you said your book is a satire of supernatural romances with a backdrop of the zombie apocalypse. I like it. That sounds very fun, Neo. Interesting. I mean, hey, look, there's a lot of supernatural romances out there. So that means there's a lot of room to spoof them, right? The richer a genre is, the more published works there are in it, the more people are familiar with it, and the more people are willing to laugh at it. So rock on. Poison, you said, what is my best advice to world building? Well, I guess something I'm going to do here, actually. I said that I'm going to world build in my writing today. I should clarify what I mean by that is I'm going to pick a location in the story that I know will be in the story, and I'm just going to write myself a scene or two set in that location. And I will discover the location as I write my way through it. That's what I'm planning on doing for my world building. So that's advice I would say for world building is put yourself in the scene in a random location, that might be pertinent to the story in the world, and kind of write your way through it. Have a walk down the street in that scene and think about what you would experience, what you would see, and whatnot. It's a good exercise to manifest, essentially manifest this scene. Wet Willie, hey, welcome in. Thank you for upping our Asmongold counter. It's been a little while since I've gotten a reference to that. AGC, Kooky, you're right. Yeah, I've gotten that a fair bit. I feel like as the beard's longer, I get it less. But don't worry. I'll be shaving it here pretty soon. Neo, you said the first line you wrote in the story was the world was ending, and Ada only had one thought in her mind. Am I going into work today? Yeah, that feels pretty appropriate. I like it. Also relatable. Very relatable, I feel like. Harpy asked, how do you keep multiple stories going without mixing them? I mean, realistically, Harpy, I'm not great at it. So the answer, how do you keep multiple stories going without mixing them, is poorly. But I think the key is if if you have inspiration on a story that's not the main one you're working on, I think it's fine to take notes and do world building and stuff like that. Um, but don't. I feel like personally, for me, as a one-track mind kind of person, I don't let myself write anything in that world that's prose-wise. I might do world building and whatnot, but actually writing scenes and stuff does tend to mess with me. So I just get as much prep work as I done as I can. Seeker, good morning. Good to see you. Welcome in, my friend. How are you doing? Good to have you here. Good to have you back. All right. Rafi, you're getting worn out beforehand, huh? Hey, no worries. No worries. Take it as it comes. We're not in any hurry. You're not in any hurry. You got all the time you need. If you're waking up tired, it's all good. Don't stress yourself. Yeah, that's a good suggestion there from Poison. Rafi, maybe you're recording a voice in a voice memo. Just get those thoughts down. But y'all, hey, yep, you're spot on, Kooky. It's time for a writing sprint, folks. So hey, if you are new to the stream, what we're gonna do here is I got 5 minutes on the clock right here, and I'm gonna write for those 5 minutes, and I encourage y'all to write along with me. It could be something you're working on. It could be a short story. It could be a novel. Hey, you could be painting. Could be folding laundry. Whatever it is for those 5 minutes, let's get some stuff done. I'm going to work on, like I said, world building a scene for one of my back burner books because I'm not feeling my main novel today. And at the end of the 5 minutes, we'll circle back. We'll see our progress. And then if y'all got any questions about books, publishing, reading, writing, any of that stuff, do let me know. Or we can just talk about, whatever, books and stuff, books and such. So, if you're sprinting along with me, y'all, good luck. I'm going to put some words on page. Hi, Jade. Welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing today? Thank you for stopping by our little cozy corner of the internet this morning. Hope you're doing well. I have just started a writing sprint, so I'm going to put some words on page in one of my upcoming books. Someone's smashing that like button repeatedly. I appreciate you, whoever you are. Oh, well, thank you, Jade. I appreciate that. We're just starting it off, so we'll see how it goes, but I think it'll go well. I got a good feeling. Just got to find out what we're writing about first. Oof, 2 minutes left. I don't have a lot of words. That's all right. We're getting the gears turning. We're shifting into first gear here. Maybe second gear if we're lucky by the end of this. All right, where's that timer at? It is out. Okay, let me write this last sentence. Got into a flow there at the end. All right. Hey, I went a bit late there, but 245 words. Ain't mad about that at all, y'all. That's a good little sprint. And towards the end of it, there, we really picked up pace and got into the flow of it. You know, we just needed a little bit of time. I needed a little bit of time to just get the thoughts rolling. You know, kind of describe it out. Saw some good chat going on in there, so I'd love to talk about it. And folks, if you were writing along with me for that little sprint, please do tell me how it went. Tell me what you're working on. Impage, you were given some helpful advice about world building. You said top-down world building, you start with gods/big powers and make your way to more specifics as you go. Bottom up, you start with specifics, like a town, and build out from there. And middle out, you kind of bounce between the other two and any other aspects in between. That's kind of what I'm doing here, Impage. I'm kind of, I guess I'm doing bottom up, where it's a little unfair though. I already know the big picture of this world, so what I'm doing now is I'm picking specific locations in it and just describing them almost to myself, just as an exploration. And so for that first sprint, which we wrote all this here, I just basically put myself on the street corner looking at a specific building that was relevant, and kind of described it. Kind of just like, there's almost a flow state you got to hit, and as I was sitting in there, I started thinking about what it was like, and then I just kind of, the rest of the thoughts fall away, and I was just in the scene describing it to myself, and I'm pretty happy with where it went. I got more thoughts that I want to put down, because I got the outside of the setting described, and the feel of it in a way. Now we need to step in through those front doors and imagine what goes on there. Megan Harding, Aaron Winnick, and Harpy, thank you for the heart me. Thank you for re-upping on the stream team. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are seriously insane for that. But look, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Unaspiring writer, you said, I was wondering how you write combat and field battles. I took stage combat in college, but I can't figure out how to write it down. Um, oh, Daniel, you got to head out? No worries, man. Have a good day. Thank you for being here. I hope the rest of your day goes well. Warden, the genre is typically fantasy. These are my book ones here. Top row is fantasy. Bottom row is lit RPG. So you can kind of pick whatever you want. But what I'm writing right now is specifically fantasy. So yeah, thank you for asking. These are all the books. You can find them at Amazon.com if you put the title in. They're available in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. And if any of them catch your eye, please do let me know. We can talk about them. Hey, Beck Munoz. I said it right yesterday, and now I'm tripping myself up. But good morning, Beck. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, and thanks for coming back. Good to have you back again. As well as you, Ian Garcia Grant on YouTube, my dude. What's up? Good to see you again. Thanks for coming on back. Unaspiring, I wanted to answer your question. You said, I was wondering how you write combat and field battles. I took stage combat in college, but I can't figure out how to write it down. Unaspiring, here's my tip for fight scenes, battle scenes. They need to convey a point, right? It's obviously you're showing dramatic action, and you're showing important events in the story, but also the fighting should tie to the stakes in almost a metaphorical way. Like, the action should represent things changing in the story, and because of that action, things should change in the story. I guess a simpler way to say it is there should be stakes about it all. So you can focus on whatever fascinates you most about those fighting scenes, as long as you keep it closely tied to the stakes of the story and inform the reader how those stakes are changing based on what's happening in the fight. That's my best advice for how to write a fight scene. You can focus on whatever you want. Like, Joe Abercrombie has a famous battle scene he wrote where it starts with a random character, and as that character is killed, it then follows the person that killed him until that person gets killed, and it moves across the whole battle that way. And it starts on one side with, like, one person on the battle. They go in, they fight, they die here. It switches to this guy who then, like, gets killed, switches over to this guy, and it works its way across the entirety of the battle. It's very interesting. So feel free to do interesting things like that, as long as you keep them tied to the stakes. That's what matters. Bo on YouTube as well. Hey, welcome in. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you. Glad to have you back. Warden, you said the one with Warden in the name speaks to you. Can't imagine why. Hey, I can't imagine either. But if you want to give it a look, it's on Amazon. It is lit RPG, sci-fi lit RPG. And if you are interested in it, please let me flag to you that the entire trilogy is available in a digital box set for $6.99. So if it's something you're interested in, save yourself a little bit of money and grab the box set instead of buying them all separate. Let's see. Jade. Thank you. You said, are you self-published or trad? I am self-published and small press published. So, Jade, if we pop back over here, anything with can I point all the way that high? I can't. Oh, nope, my finger's cut off. Right down here on the bottom left of this cover, you see it's got a little Portal Books logo. Most of those here have it. Servant of Rage, Rise to Glory, Warden. Those, I guess it's actually half. Those half are through my small press, Portal Books, that I work with. So those would be small press published. Then Wriggly Little Hands and The Far Wild, top middle, top right, are self-published. And bottom left, Paragon, is a co-written series that I'm self-publishing along with my buddy Luke Chemlenko. So it's a mix. It's a mix between small press and self-pub. Beck, you said, I'm finding writing the big plot moments is easy, but the in-between moments are harder. Tips? That's a good question, Beck. I like it. Thank you very much for asking. What I would say for that is it tells me that the small moments don't feel that important to you. At least that would be my instinct. So I would think about those small moments and consider if they're important to the story. And if they are, and like you absolutely can't cut them, then you do have to like trudge through and write them. But if they aren't that important, if you're just doing it because you feel like you should, try to cut them out. See if the story works without them, because theoretically, a story should only have the scenes it absolutely needs that advance the plot and change things. So a lot of the times when it feels like a scene's not working, it's just because it's not relevant enough to the plot. And just consider if it could be summarized in backstory without hurting a later chapter. And if that's the case, if it's not something we need to see firsthand, then you don't have to write that scene. Give that a try. Let me know how it works for you. Neo, you said, so fun fact about mine, each character follows a naming structure. First character is Ada Cross. And I was expecting there to be a follow-up in there, so I'll see if that comes. Poison Apple Tea says $6.99, such a deal. Gavin, you said how much is it? I think you mean for the books. They're depends on the format you get. Audiobook's the most expensive. Paperback is the second most expensive, and ebook's the cheapest, and they're all in Kindle Unlimited. So if you're a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, you can pick them up for the cost of your subscription. Read them to your heart's content. But thank you for asking. And there are some follows in there. William, thank you very much for the follow, my friend. Appreciate you. There was another one, too. Where's iJade? Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following. Please ask any publishing questions you have. I'm happy to talk about them with you. Warden, a third one. Thank you very much. Actually, a fourth follow for today. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Seriously, that's very flattering. Poison said, are there publishing companies that won't let you self-publish, like in the agreement/contract? Poison, agreements with publishing companies, typically, and it might be entirely, maybe there's an exception to this rule, but I've not seen it. When you sign a deal with a publishing company, you are only signing the rights to your current book with them, whatever book that is. So, like Portal Books, for instance, if I sign a new book with them, they only have say over that book and what happens with it, what's explicitly detailed in the contract. If I want to write something else, I'm free to do whatever I want with it. And that should always be the case, unless someone's paying you a whole lot of money. But you never would want to sign away your right to write something else that you want when you want to, and publish it with who you want. Rafi, you said, how do you time jump correctly? I have moments that are months apart, and I don't want to be repetitive. Hey, Rafi, if nothing important happens, nothing that we have to see, scene-wise, kind of like I was saying earlier, if nothing important happens in that time, it's fine just to do a sentence or two or a paragraph of transitioning, informing the readers of the passing of time. And that's all you really need to do. It's okay to do that. I know it feels weird. It feels especially weird. I really like to write chronologically, and it feels weird for me to not just do like one day, next day, next day. But it's something I've been working on getting better at. And yeah, you can just fully time jump. I mean, for instance, this is perhaps not the best example, but I believe in the second Twilight book, it literally has like a time period in there where every chapter is a new month. And if nothing really happens, it'll just be like, I forget exactly, it's been a while, but I believe there was one that was just like a page and it was just like May, and it was like nothing happened. And then it's just the next chapter, right? So you can do time jumps however you want, but just keep in mind that as long as we're not missing anything important and nothing drastically has changed with the characters, then we're not really missing anything. Unaspiring writer, I see your comment. You said, I heard that using them for character development can be helpful. Oh, you're referring to time jumps. Okay, yeah, absolutely they can. Let me catch up on all these questions here. I appreciate all the questions, y'all. iJade, you said, how is the process for small press versus self-publishing? Was one better than the other? I don't know about better, iJade. Different for sure. With small press, it's just like traditional publishing, but smaller. So realistically, you're just going to submit your manuscript to them. They're going to edit it. You're going to work with them on edits. And then the publisher is going to take care of cover art, book formatting, publishing it, where to publish it, etc. Whereas self-publish, you have to do all of that yourself. So there's more work involved in self-publishing, but you have more say over every little detail as well. And you take a bigger split of the profits. Because really, say you publish on Amazon, you're just sharing your proceeds with Amazon. Whereas with a small press, you have some sort of royalty split agreement with them. But small press might also pay you in advance. So you kind of weigh it. You kind of choose what works for you. I've enjoyed both experiences, and I still do small press and self-pub, and I still query TradPub in the background as well. We can get into that sometime. I've walked the path of TradPub a little bit, and it's been an interesting journey to get to here. Neo said I try to follow the rule of because instead of then. Yes. Oh, Neo, that's a wonderful rule. Thank you for mentioning that. Y'all, what Neo's talking about is when laying out plot events, you basically say, the next scene, this scene happens, and because of that, the next scene happens. That way, every scene is ushering you along in the story to the next one. It's a good way to identify scenes that don't have much of a purpose. Every scene should happen, and because of the outcome of that scene, the next scene should occur. It's a very good writing strategy. Good shout, Neo. Good shout. Seth, you said with your book on Kindle Unlimited, do you get royalties when someone reads it? I do, Seth. It goes through the Kindle Unlimited program, and Kindle Unlimited will pay me some small fraction of a cent per page read, Kindle page read, and it's not much, but it adds up over the long term. For some of my more successful books, I have literally millions of Kindle Unlimited page reads, so I'm making 0.003 cents per page read, but when you extrapolate it over that length of that many reads, it starts to pay off. So yeah, no, however you want to pick up my books, I do make royalties, and I appreciate you. Marietta Hughes, author, thank you for following. Thank you for being here. Happy Tuesday to you. What do you write, Marietta? If you care to share it with us, we'd love to talk about it. Impage says we're referencing Twilight now. What have we come to? Hey man, I'm not the end all be all of literary authority. Twilight has sold a ton of books, and I might not think it's the highest art form, but Stephanie Meyer has sold far more books than I have, and made a very successful living off of it, so I cannot disparage her. She clearly tapped into something in publishing that I have not yet. Warden said, how do you name chapters? I find it hard and end up just doing numbers. Well, you don't have to name chapters if you don't want to, Warden. I like to think that it depends on the book. For a more serious book, I might not name the chapters. In fact, I tend to not name chapters because I think the name of the chapter should be part of the presentation of the story. If the name doesn't add anything, then it doesn't really need to be there. But for instance, in my comedy book, if we go to Wriggly Little Hands here on the top center, this one is a goofy, silly book coming out May 27th. So I named the chapters in it because it's about goofy stuff, right? So I want people to instantly turn the page to that new chapter and already be giggling. So it's got really goofy chapter titles throughout. My more serious books, I might not do that. Or if you have multi-POVs, different point of view characters, you can make the chapter just the name of the character, so that it immediately informs readers whose perspective we're getting that chapter from. So anyway, to sum it all up easily, chapter numbers are fine. You don't need titles for chapters. If it adds to the story creatively, then by all means do so. But don't feel obliged. Unaspiring, yes, the writers of South Park do write with that because plot strategy I was talking about. This scene happens, and because of that, the next scene happens, and because of that, the next scene happens. They are famously on the books for talking about that. Marietta, you said you write fantasy and dystopian sci-fi. Rock on. Hey, that's a ton of fun. Those are good genres. Congratulations, and thank you for stopping by. We love writers around here. We got a lot of them hanging out, working on books, which... Hey, speaking of, y'all, let's go ahead and put this timer back up because I need to do another writing sprint. But before I do, I'm going to quickly catch up on the chat I've missed, and I'm also going to drop in chat. Y'all, there's a link to our Discord community. I just put it in chat. If you want to keep the fun going when the stream ends, that's where we do it. Got over 100 people hanging out there now, which is truly insane to me. I don't understand, but I'm super excited. So thank you for the passion, guys. I really appreciate it. Poison said, any advice on how to write unknown shared body, kind of like Jekyll and Hyde? I think if it's unknown, then the main we'll say the Dr. Jekyll in the situation doesn't really know what's happening. So I like the idea of them uncovering it as like a mystery. I think that's interesting, seeing the signs of whatever, we'll just say nightly escapades that Mr. Hyde went on. So I think if I were writing that off the bat, I would have a deep sense of like mystery that builds into an unsettledness as the main character things start to not add up, right? And I would use that to slowly unravel what's happening. But it depends on your story. I think the main thing is that a story like that is a very violating and like worrying thing to imagine that somebody else is controlling your body and you're not remembering it. So I would lean into that. I would try to lean into what that feels like, because it's a very scary revelation. I've not really written that before though, Poison. So I haven't thought about it too much. Sleepy, good morning. Hello, your creepy greeting. Good to see you. Impage, you're spot on. Impage says millions of KU page reads. That's got to be like at least $3. Man's rolling in it. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Impage. Pretty accurate. Find Your Smile. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Y'all, if you don't watch Find Your Smile's content on TikTok, you should. It's truly incredible stuff. Very fun. Incredible art. Just a good time every time. So give his profile a look. My guy's rocking it over there. Anyway, Find Your Smile said you all have inspired me to write something. I've never done anything like it. Dude, congrats. Hey. Good for you. I'm happy for you. We got another one, folks. We got another one. If you got any questions as you go through it, Smile, let us know. We're happy to help. That's what we're here for. Higgs, for my trilogy, I have a one-word descriptor. They're all novellas, so it's short. That's nothing wrong with that, Higgs. I like it. Find Your Smile said, what would be like a rough process to planning out your book? Smile, so what I would do, my advice for newer authors is always start with short stories. They're a lot easier than novels. They're a lot quicker, but they require every element of a novel. They require a beginning, a middle, and end. They require characters, conflict, and resolution. But a short story does it in 1,000 to 10,000 words, or 1 to 5-ish chapters. And that's a lot easier and quicker to write than a 100,000 word novel, right? And there are tons of free short story contests that you can submit to get feedback and potentially win acclaim and interest with your short stories. So I always say start with short stories. And what I would do for that, if you're going to make it, let's say you're doing a 10,000 word short story, outline 5 chapters. And the way I would do that is I would make chapter 1, chapter 3, chapter 5. We're going to have chapter 1 where the story begins, chapter 3 is the midpoint, and chapter 5 is the end point. And I'm going to do a bullet point for each of those and just say what happens in 1 to 3 sentences. I'm going to say what happens in each of those chapters. And then the step from chapter 1 to chapter 2 should advance the story towards the midpoint. Chapter 2 to chapter 3 should bring us to the midpoint. Obviously, chapter 3 to 4 brings us beyond the midpoint and sets up moving into chapter 5 for the big finale. That's how I would outline it. Basically just bullet point and start going from there. Now, that's just me personally. Everybody has different outlining processes. Some folks like to outline everything ahead of time. I prefer to be a little slimmer. Some folks like to just figure it out as they go, and there's nothing wrong with that. Really, it's just practice to find out which way works for you best. Hopefully that helps. Beck, you said, what was the hardest thing you had to cut from a story in the editing process? I need to get to a next word sprint, but let me answer these quickly. So I will answer those, and we'll do, let's do 60-second timer. We're going to rapid fire these. Beck says, what was the hardest thing you had to cut from a story in the editing process? Beck, I've had to cut entire scenes and chapters, and at one point a subplot, and that was painful, but it was the correct decision. It was just a lot of work to cut all that. But books are fluid, and the first draft is really just you telling yourself the story. The second pass and the editing is refining the story for the readers. So it's okay to have more in your first draft, and your goal would be to slim it down in editing. Monk 8090, welcome. Thanks for being here, man. Glad to have you. You said, how do you get ideas? Do you have a creative process? Monk, the ideas just kind of come to me throughout the day as I'm living and whatnot. But I like to write them down. If we go to my display capture here and pull up my Google Drive where I keep all my ideas, we have this folder right here called Story Ideas. I have like 96 different Word docs and folders in here, all full of different ideas that have come to me over time that I just record. So I say write them all down as they come to you, and just keep track of them, because like I think once you start thinking about storytelling, ideas just naturally kind of appear to you over time. Hey, no worries, unaspiring. You're very welcome for the stream. Thank you for being here. Couldn't do it without you. And I hope your HVAC issues get sorted. I don't know if you're having issues or you're working with someone to fix them, but good luck. Thank you for being here, buddy. I hope you have a good Tuesday. Poison, the advice helped. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I always, that's always my goal, but all I can say is what I've done as an author. But hopefully it does help. So. Hey, Brett, the G Bread Man, thank you very much for the follow. Sorry it took me a second to get to that, but I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and happy Tuesday to you, my friend. I hope your week's going good. All right, last question. We're doing the writing sprint. Allison said, currently doing a dev edit on my first novel and had to axe a useless plotline that went nowhere. Hey, okay, you understand, Allison. You understand. It hurts, right? It's a shame. But hey, guys, when you cut writing, never delete it permanently. Just put it in a folder somewhere, because it's wild later in the story or even on a different project when you might go, wait, that one scene I wrote, there's something in there that I want, or it works for this new thing that I'm doing. So cut writing from your story, but don't delete it. Never delete writing. Just put it somewhere else for now, Senior Goatman, welcome in, my friend. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Good to see you. How you doing this morning? Breadman, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate your follow. All the likes and follows today, guys. Y'all are enthusiastic. I appreciate it. I said we're going to do some writing because this is a writing stream. So, folks, if you're new here, welcome in, first of all. This is our cozy corner of the internet where we try to start your day off with some good vibes, a little bit of creativity, some inspiration, perhaps. Today we are writing. So I've got a 5-minute timer right there. And I'm going to press play on it, and I'm going to keep working on world building for one of the novels on my back burner. And I encourage y'all to write along with me for those 5 minutes. And at the end of it, we'll see what we got done. We'll talk about it, and I'll take more questions on books, writing, publishing, writing craft, all that fun stuff. Y'all are bringing the questions today. Thank you very much for that. Very fascinating to answer and try to give some insight to. So yeah, folks, if you are going to sprint along with me, by all means, open that blank page, uncap your pen, fire up your word processor. Let's get to it because the timer is ticking, and I'm going to put some words on page. And we'll just go ahead and mark it in chat. 245 words. That's where I'm starting this sprint. Four six, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. Happy Tuesday. How you doing on this lovely Tuesday? Lovely, cloudy Tuesday outside, we'll call it. Four six, you said you're sick again. No AC and no internet. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not fun. That's a miserable position to be in. I hope the internet gets fixed. I hope the AC gets fixed, and I hope that you get fixed, my friend. That's three strikes right there. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, I'm pulling for you. Come on, health, AC, internet. Three key things there. We need those. I hope they get it resolved, dude. All right. Good morning, folks. Good morning, Wheezing Weasel. Nice to see you. I'm gonna pause this sprint real quick. Just a minute left on it, but wanted to say hello to you, Wheezing Weasel. Welcome in. Glad to have you. And Gbread, you asked what kind of fantasy do you like? Gbread, I prefer fantasies that have like a thriller element to them. Always a fan of comedy. And I'll do occasionally a little bit of grimdark, kind of Joe Abercrombie stuff, or just straight up good old epic fantasy, Dragonlance Chronicles, that sort of thing. I think that's reflected, in the books that I've written. These are my book ones, and the top row is fantasy, bottom row is lit RPG. But on the fantasy side, like literally as I just called out, the Far Wild top right is Jurassic Park inspired. There's my fantasy thriller that I love. And the top left, Servant of Rage, is a little more gritty, a little more action heavy, kind of like Dragon Ball Z-esque fight scenes in a Genghis Khan Mongolian inspired world. So that kind of is my taste for grittier fantasy. And then right in the center is Wriggly Little Hands, my comedy fantasy, which is very Terry Pratchett-esque, if I can dare compare myself to the master of fantasy comedy himself. So those are kind of my explorations of fantasy of what I enjoy writing and reading. And yeah, they're all available for purchase, Breadman, except for Wriggly Little Hands. Wriggly Little Hands is having a soft launch, so just the paperback, on May 9th, and then the full launch, audiobook, ebook, and all the promotion for it will trigger on May 27th. But everything else up here, yeah, it's available in ebook, paperback, or audiobook. You can find them on Amazon. Or you can learn more about them at authoralexknight.com, as it says at the top there. But if you have any questions about them, please ask me. I'm happy to tell you about them. Leisha, you have a job interview today. We do wish you luck. Good luck. Yo, guys, send some good vibes Leisha's way. That's very exciting. Leisha, I hope you get it. I hope you rock it. I'm going to finish the last 56 seconds of this sprint, y'all. So bear with me here a moment. And then Poison, I love that question. I want to talk about it. So just give me 1 second to finish up this sprint. Leisha, you're going to rock it. I know you got that interview. All right, that's gotta be time. And so it is. All right, 427 words on that total. So let's see. I started at 245, so we're going to take 427 minus 245. 182 words on that sprint. All right. All right, we'll take that. It's a good sprint. Y'all, if you were riding along with me, please let me know how it went for you. What progress did you make on that sprint? Serb, you said on TikTok on iPhone, your website banner is covered. Been on it before, but could bother others. Oh, that's not good. Is it on this screen, Serb, you're talking about? TikTok does crop things a little weird and also put text. Yeah, okay, so I see it on mine. It's a little bit cut off. It is hard to read, Aaron. Okay, interesting, because my preview. Yeah, if you could pop a screenshot, Serb, that would I'd appreciate that. At best I can tell from my preview, it should be decently visible, but it's always hard to say. Thank you, though. I'll fix that after stream. Let me make a note of that. Advon, you said, well, since I saw you, I wanted to try a little before sleeping, so I'm off now. Good luck. Off to write, I hope, Advon. Good luck if that's the case, my friend. Thank you for stopping by a little bit. Appreciate you coming by. Poison, you said it might be phone layout too. My phone kind of blacks out your last name. Yeah, I guess it's just a little bit too close to the top edge. Maybe we gotta put it down a little more centrally. It's challenging on the vertical orientation, y'all, to find room for everything. But hey, we'll try to. I'll look at that screenshot in Discord. Thank you very much for that. Aaron says you can read it, but a ton of the user interface is over it. So it goes. Aaron, we decided to write some world building for True Night, which is a project you're familiar with. And I'm enjoying it. I'm walking through a scene that I've been excited to write, a setting I've been excited to write, and just kind of describing what I'm seeing there and what it feels like. And then when we get to that actual scene in the book, I'll have already, been there. I'll be writing it for the second time. It should be nice. Peter, you said, are you in the middle of a sprint? I was when you joined. Sorry, it just took me a minute to get there. Yeah, we were doing a sprint. We were doing well. Fun. A little bit of world building today. Not necessarily putting new words in a novel. We're preparing to do that. Poison, you had asked a question a way back. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, and Breadman, sorry, you said I'm about to dedicate myself to writing a hopefully book-tier game story for a game I'm making. The thing is, I'm not a writer, so I'm afraid. Hey, just take a shot at it, man. Don't worry about the fear and the self-doubt. We are our own harshest critics. We are always our own harshest critics. My advice to folks starting out writing is unabashedly follow your creative passion. Like, don't worry what other people will think. Don't listen to your own doubts. Find the thing that you're most excited to write and just chase it with as much courage as you can. It took me 10 books to figure that out, 10 published books to figure out. Don't worry about what other people think. You have to have fun. You have to write for yourself first. Everything else falls into line after that. So find out what you're most excited about and just write it. Follow it. It'll go well, I promise. Poison, you said if you could only show one cover at a business thingy, except for Wrigley Little Hands, which would it be? Ooh, Poison, that is a difficult question. I mean, it depends on the tone of the event, right? It would probably be The Far Wild or Servant of Rage. Probably it'd be The Far Wild, but if it's a crowd that I'm expecting to be more into for adventure fiction, then The Far Wild would be a great pick. But if it's people that are more gritty fantasy, I'd want Servant of Rage. But really, the one that I'm proudest of, and I know you said not, this is Wriggly Little Hands. Let's see, right here. I love this cover, y'all. I feel like it's, like I said, it took me 10 books to really be brave enough to write the book that I wanted to. Folks were like, comedy doesn't sell, it's not profitable, people aren't going to want to take a gamble on it. Even if it does well, it's not going to make a lot of money. And it took me a long time to finally get to be like, I don't care about any of that. I want to write this book. And to take the time to do it. So it's really the book that I'm proudest of, and I want to show it off the most. Oh, Peter Marsh, you want to hop on the next sprint? Oh, well, hey, let's go ahead and say about 3 minutes from now we'll do our next sprint. How's that sound? 8:10 a.m. my time we'll do it. So go ahead and get all queued up for it, and we'll get another sprint here in about 3 minutes. Poison, you said True Night sounds so simple, yet so dope. Thank you. And it is a True Night, night with an N, N-I-G-H-T, because it has a lot to do with things that go bump in the night. It's a gothic sort of horror light story, more of a spooky atmosphere, more Tim Burton than it is horror, I suppose, but beautiful setting, creepy setting. I'm very excited to write it one of these days. It's just a world that I'm so fascinated with. I've been world building it a ton in the background. Oh, Aaron, yeah, you know that world. You're excited for a book to happen there. It's going to be great. Breadman, you said the cover of Wriggly Little Hands looks like a hilarious moment in a D&D campaign. Thank you. I'm glad you say that. I'm glad that that's what it makes you feel, because that's exactly what I'm going for. I like to describe it as a D&D campaign if every player used intelligence as their dump stat. I haven't given you all the pitch yet, so I'll just say Wriggly Little Hands is... it's about a family of goblins who go on a quest to save the Dark Lord and accidentally do good at every turn. They're really not as evil as they thought they were. It's a silly, goofy little road trip through Fantasyland, satirizes some of the fantasy genre. It's a fun little book. I can't wait to get it out to y'all. It's so ridiculously goofy. Other name, welcome in. Welcome in, my friend. How you doing today? My day's been good. We're rocking and rolling here. Great questions from chat today. I really appreciate that. Fair few follows, a lot of likes, and a lot of good questions, y'all. I mean, I can't ask for more. You're rocking it. Serb says goblins are awesome. I agree with you, man. That's why I wrote that book. I do love them. And I think they needed a bit of a PR campaign. There's been a lot of evil depictions of goblins lately, and I was like, let's get some goofiness back in here. Poison, thank you. Very kind of you to say. Raffi said, I feel like that's hyperbolic. Comedy does amazing as long as it's done well. That's the challenge. Yeah, it is the challenge to do it well. It's also just to think about Terry Pratchett, how prolific he was, how many books he wrote, how widely known he was. But he never really, he made good money. Dude made a fortune off of it. But for the amount of books that he wrote, and as well known as he wasn't making, Stephen King levels of money. Fantasy just doesn't sell. It sells, but it doesn't have the massive hit potential of a Fourth Wing or Twilight or Sanderson. Those are broad appeals, big genres, big formats. Comedy struggles in that aspect. It tends to have more popularity to less sales, if that makes sense. But who knows? Maybe we can turn that on its head with Wriggly Little Hands. That's the plan. Yuck Yuck Lee, good morning. Welcome in. We are at the stated time, so we're going to start a writing sprint here in just a minute. Let me welcome everybody in. Peter Marsh, go ahead and get that word processor ready, my friend. We're going to get some words going. Let's see. Senior Goatman, on the topic of D&D, have you seen The Legend of Vox Machina? I have not. I need to watch it. I know that it's good. I love the D&D movie. I listen to actual play podcasts a lot, so I really need to see that. Seth says, how long do you think it takes to write a chapter fantasy book? Seth, chapter fantasy, it really depends on the word count and how fast you move. I think writing about 500 to 1,000 words a day is a pretty attainable goal for most folks. And at that rate, if you were doing, say, a 50,000 word book, it'd probably take you a couple months, not too long. It's really just about the consistency, sticking with it. But everybody's got their own writing pace. Write at what feels right to you. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Gio, welcome in, my friend. I'm overdue for a writing sprint here. I'm just trying to greet everybody real quick. But hey, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Poison, ask me that question again at the end of the sprint, because that's a fun one. Thank you very much for asking it. Warden, you love D&D? Rock on, man. Right there with you. D&D is incredible. It's collaborative storytelling with your friends. What more could you want, right? Serb, you're a Kobolds fan yourself. They radiate chaotic energy. That's Serb. That's kind of what I'm going for with Wriggly Little Hands. That chaotic energy. Um, I find it very fun. Yeah, yeah, Rafi, that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. You're kind of getting it there too. But hey, the market's always changing, so who knows? Um, Sloids, you talk to Geo about orcs. He is the resident orc war chief, basically. Um, and hey, there's a few orcs in Wriggly Little Hands as well. It ain't all just goblin love up in here. AJ, more of an Urukai man yourself. I love it. Um, okay, we made it. Pete, sorry for the delay, my friend. But we're here. Let's do that writing sprint. Y'all, welcome in. Thank you for being here. If it's your first time, welcome to our cozy corner of the internet. We stream something writing or fantasy related every weekday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. Yesterday we were doing some fantasy map making. Today we're doing some writing. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? I can tell you Friday we'll be doing more fantasy maps. But right now, we're going to write for 5 minutes. So folks, there's a timer on screen. I'm going to start that here. I'm going to work on some world building for one of my upcoming books. And I encourage y'all to write along. Whatever you're working on, whatever it is, for the next 5 minutes, let's get it together. And at the end, we will circle back, see how we did, and continue talking about books and writing and all that publishing goodness. Any questions y'all have? You've asked a lot of great questions today. So thank you for that. And let's keep it rolling after this sprint. In the meantime, if you're sprinting with me, Peter, anybody else sprinting with me, good luck. Let's get some progress. Y'all can do it. And I'll throw it in the chat because I always forget. I'm starting at 427 words so we can see where we end up at. Anaya, you're studying preemptively for a class that you're dreading. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But good on you for getting on it ahead of time. Getting a good start on it, it's going to make it better. It's going to make it better for you. Very wise. You get a good wisdom stat there. Slendy, you made it despite being stuck at the doctor's office. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Stuck for over an hour. My goodness. Slendy, that's rough. But hey, welcome in. You're here now. You made it, and we're glad to have you. Thank you for being here. Welcome in, my friend. Take a load off. Now we get to chill and just put some good vibes out there, huh? All right, how much time in the sprint? 30 seconds. Uh-oh, I better get some words in here real quick. I'm gonna light one. All right, that's time. Let me just finish this thought here. Boom. Okay. That is time. Folks, if you were sprinting along with me, how did it go? Let me know. Drop that word count for how it went for you, and I'll get mine right now. We started at 427 words, and we ended at 629, so a little bit of adding, a little bit of subtracting. 202 words. All right, we'll take that. Not so bad. What's that put our total at? 629. All right, we're approaching that word goal. We'll take it. Peter, if you sprinted along with me there, my friend, over on YouTube, let me know how it went. Hope it went well for you. Destroyin' Dan, welcome in, my friend. You said you're over in Denver doing the IVF thing. Glad to see you working hard. Well, I'm glad to see y'all getting to do that, Dan. Good for you, man. Hey, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, and I hope it all goes well. That's super exciting. Family friend of mine went through that, or ours, went through that a couple years back successfully. So very happy to see that, and I hope it's successful for you as well, dude. Congratulations. And yeah, as Gio says, bring a jacket. I hear it's still pretty spring up in the northern parts of the country, but down here in Houston, we are full on into the heat. Already nice and warm out there and ready to tip over into sweltering and oppressive. Jacob, good morning, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dan, you said if this book is good, Night might be a good name. Hey, that's totally up to you. I'll say no more. That's totally up to you. Seth, that's nice of you. Appreciate that, man. Hey, other name, you got 63 words for that word sprint. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, you're warming up, right? You got to shake those hands out, shift into first gear, get a little bit of traction. That's how it goes in the beginning. My first one was pretty light as well. But also, it's not necessarily about word count. It's just about getting more than you had. So rock on. Thank you for joining me. Slendy, you said it's spring in the morning here in Georgia, but then it gets hot. At least you got the mornings. That's nice. I imagine your weather's pretty similar to ours. We're in the same latitude, north to south. I think that's latitude, right? I always confuse them. Poison, thank you for re-asking your question. You said, do you have a favorite throwback when it comes to Magic? A show or game kids don't know well now? I mean, Poison, it's still well known, but I still enjoy like Dragonlance Chronicles. The Magic system in it. I mean, it's basically just D&D, so kind of a cop-out of an answer. But it was the first fantasy series I read that really had a lot of magic in it, as well as kind of rules for it, and it was really eye-opening for me. So, I mean, I just got to shout that one out. It was huge for me as a kid. So, yeah, definitely that. What about you? You got something that stands out to you? Impage, you said, what is your favorite D&D monster you've seen? Ooh, that's a good question, Impage. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm going to say I've seen a homebrew of a Wendigo into D&D, and I thought that was very terrifying, though I imagine that's largely fed by the fact that I just find Wendigos absolutely terrifying. But no, I saw someone that kind of like created it as a monster, gave it some stats and whatnot, and I thought it was very good. What about you, Impage? Any that are standing out to you, sticking with you? Destroy and Dan, any advice on starting a book? Dan, my advice is always to start with short stories. Um, they're shorter than books. They're quicker and easier to write, but they teach you everything you need to know about writing books. It's basically like going for a jog before running a marathon. So I would say start with short stories. And I'll say, above all, more important than anything else, pick an idea that you're excited about and passionately and unabashedly follow it. Don't worry about what other people will think. Don't listen to your own internal doubts. Follow nothing but the excitement that you have for the story. It's the most important lesson for writing, and it took me forever to learn it. Be courageous enough to really just relentlessly pursue the idea that sounds interesting to you. Don't worry what others will think about it. So short stories, and be passionate about what you want to write it about. And don't worry what other people will think, and don't listen to your own self-doubts. But as you go through it, man, ask more questions. We're happy to help here. There's a lot of knowledgeable folks hanging out in chat, and I will give you whatever advice I can, whatever it's worth. Bad millennial friend, Frian, said, good morning. Can you share the link to your Spotify playlist again? I love this stuff. Yes, I can. And good morning, my friend. Welcome back in. Good to see you. Here is the link in chat right now. Y'all, if you don't know what that's about, that's the link to the Spotify playlist for the stream background music. You're very welcome. By the way, Megan, Gio, and Jacob, thank you very much for re-upping on the stream team, sending those heart me's. That's super kind to y'all. Seriously, never expected, never necessary, but greatly appreciated. Thank you, guys. I seriously appreciate that. A lot of questions here, so let me try to get to them. Poison, you said Charmed was the most you saw magic explored on TV when young. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a fun one too, huh? Good answer. It's kind of a correct answer. Mine felt a little bit of a sidestep. Geo said, "Hey Alex, what is your favorite D&D edition and why is it 3.5?" Geo, I've never played 3.5. I know, shocking confession, but I've never played it. I hear it's good. I hear it's very fun, but I've not had the pleasure. Will, welcome back in, my friend. Good to see you. Eddie, you as well. Howdy, guys. Welcome back in. Happy Tuesday. I hope your day's going well. Good start. If not, let's make it one, huh? Send some good vibes out there. Destroy and Dan says you must hate Until Dawn, based on my fear of Wendigos. Destroy and Dan, I love Until Dawn, particularly because of how much it terrifies me. They're making a movie out of it, right? It's like coming out pretty soon. I want to watch it, and I know that it's gonna terrify me to my core. I'm a big old scaredy cat with horror, but I still like it. So I'm gonna have to find a way to watch it. Boy, it's gonna be rough though. Oh, it's gonna hurt. I'm excited though. Slindy, you used to watch Charmed in the morning with your mom every morning. That's nice. A good memory there. Serb, you said you wrote your first words during the last sprint. First words since college, bro. Good for you, man. Rock on. That's what I want to hear. Congratulations. Y'all, applause in chat for Serb 3D getting those first words. And hey, I hope they went well for you. Like I always say, please ask us any questions you got so we can help you along. But well done. Well done. I'm proud of you. That's really nice to hear. Senior Goatman, you got to go off to work. Hey, have a good one, dude. Thank you for being here for a little bit. Appreciate you stopping by. Always nice to have you. Oh, folks, we're gonna queue up another writing sprint here in a minute, but let me see what the last few things going on in chat before that. So we'll get to it. But if you're gonna write with me on this next sprint, by all means, open that word processor, click that pen, turn to that fresh page. Let's get ready for it. We'll get here in maybe 2 minutes time, I'll say. Marvin, you said, which is your fave D&D edition and why is it 3.5? Yes, that's Geo asked me the same thing. I've not played 3.5. Regrettably, I've heard that it's really good. I've just never had the chance to play it. Why is it so beloved? I believe it's more like flexible, right? There's more cool things you can do. It's a little less restrictive, and I believe melee isn't as kind of nerfed as it is. Impage says, almost all the monsters I've subjected my players to have been homebrew. Oh, okay. So you like to cook them up in the lab, Impage. You're the mad scientist over there preparing those fresh horrors for your players. Respect. That sounds like a good time. Just make sure you get a couple good cackles in there as you release those monsters on everybody. Oh, Will, it's closer to bedtime for you. Hey, well, thank you for spending your evening with us. That's nice of you. We're glad to have you. Hopefully we can send you off to a nice, relaxing evening. We're always happy to have you come spend a little bit of time with us here. Destroy and Dan, you said I have high expectations for Until Dawn. I'm right there with you, man. It's an incredible game. It's a very fun story. I hope they do. I hope they do justice to it. Seth, you said the movie didn't stay true to the game. Is it out? Can you watch it in theaters now? I thought it wasn't out yet, but I could be completely wrong. I'm trying to see if it's yeah, I mean it's got Rotten Tomatoes reviews and stuff, so like it's clearly out. Okay, look at that. Well, now I have to make a note to find a way to watch it. Sorry, it sounds like it didn't work out. It wasn't true to the game. I'll have to give it a watch anyway, though. I'm too tempted. Dan, you got the appointment heading out. Hey, good luck, dude. I hope it goes well for you. We're pulling for you here. Go get that IVF. Slendy, you said a good low-budget scary movie series is the Blackwell Ghost mockumentary. Hey, I love mockumentaries. I'm going to write that down, Slendy. That looks fun. That sounds fun. Thanks for shouting it out. Oh, well, Serb, that's very kind of you. Serb said, I've been loving your streams, just hanging out with y'all. I enjoy it so much. Well, we appreciate having you here, dude. That's the community really makes it, right? Without y'all, I'm just here talking to a camera, blabbing about some of such other nonsense. So I appreciate y'all being here. You know, it all works out together, right? A lot of things thrown into the stew makes it a better product. So thank you for being here. Seriously, it's a pleasure to have you. Impage, you said my most recent was referring to a most recent homebrew monster for D&D was a Reaper Mantis, a large mantis that has resistance to magic and can go invisible. Yeah, that sounds pretty scary. Anything that's large insects is pretty terrifying because insect strength and durability is on a completely different level compared to us as humans. So once you scale them up to our size, we have big problems. Add in there resistance to magic and an ability to go invisible. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, Impage. It's going to be a fun battle. How did it go? How did your players deal with it? Poison, you said, I'm glad creepy bugs mostly stay in games now. No black and white movies with Godzilla-sized spiders. I can agree with that. You're not a fan of the cult horror classic Eight-Legged Freaks, I take it then? Or horror comedy? It's not really horror. Oh, Marvin, a second comment saying Until Dawn did not do justice to the game. I'm sad to hear that. Bummer there. I'm still going to watch it because I'm curious, but that's a shame. It's a shame. Hopefully it's still fun in the end. Seth, my wife is not. Well, I guess my wife is a science communicator, so she works with engineers and scientists to understand their science and research and then convey that to the general public in an interesting and exciting way. But I have written a book with her that we're trying to get published, and she has definitely dabbled in writing. So we can't call her a published author. Well, I guess we can. She had 2 chapters that just published in a science book that she wrote. She was one of the authors on it. So yeah, we could call her a published author there, but she's dabbling in it and looking to get a bit more into it in the future. So not her main job, but definitely something she's interested in. We like to say in this house, I write science fiction, she writes science fact. All right, Serb, you ready for that next sprint? Hey, it's okay. You said even though it's in Apple Notes and nobody may ever read it. Hey, you got to write a lot of things that people won't read until you write something that they will. As long as you read it and have fun with it, that's the most important part. Everything after that is bonus. So let's go ahead and get to that next sprint. We got it queued up. Y'all, if you want to sprint along with me, we'd love to have you. Good luck if you're going to do it. M. Sage Gormley, author, good morning. Welcome in. Glad to have you. We were just kicking off a writing sprint, but afterwards, let me know. What do you write? What are your books about? I always love chatting with other authors. Impage, it was a good fight, but the party won. That's what I want to hear. That's what it's about, right? It's about challenging your players, and you want them to triumph in the end, but you don't want to give it to them. You got to make them earn it, right? That's part of the joy of the collaborative storytelling there. Well done, Impage. Sounds like a successful DM session. All right, y'all. If you're sprinting along with me, the timer's going. Um, I'm going to put 5 minutes of work into this story right here. And if y'all want to do it along with me, good luck. Appreciate having you. At the end, we'll circle back, talk about how it went, and do a few more questions about books, writing, publishing, whatever y'all want to talk about. So think about your questions or drop them in chat now, and I'll get to them as soon as this sprint's done here in, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Coach Kyle, welcome in, my friend. It's good to see you. How you doing on this fine Tuesday morning? Good to have you in, buddy. All right, let's see where we're at. 1 minute 13 left in this sprint. Y'all, if you're sprinting along with me, we got a minute left. Let's get right there to the end. Sprint on through the finish line. All right, that's probably time. That is, so let me just finish this sentence here. Nice. All right. I did not remember to flag my starting word count, but I think we can highlight text. I think I can find my starting point. Yes. Okay, so 217 words on that sprint. We'll take that. Bringing the total to 846. Y'all, if you were sprinting along with me, let me know how it went for you. But there's mine, 217 on that sprint, and we're just about at that word goal, y'all. We're leaning into it. I'm hitting the flow now of the world building, having a good time with it. I'm actually really I was really sad to cut off that writing because I was really feeling the descriptions we were doing there. Hi Jade, you said what program do you use for writing? Thank you for asking, Jade. I use just Google Docs, Google Drive, mainly because I have a desktop and a MacBook, and I often work between on one or the other, and they don't talk to each other nicely. Windows and Apple don't play nicely on the playground. But Google Drive and Google Docs converts between those two seamlessly, as well as my phone, so I can access my writing at any time. And bonus points, it's all free, so can't really complain. That's my program of choice, but there's a lot of other good ones out there. A lot of folks in chat use different ones, and it's really just pick your poison. What works best for you? Seth, you said, what is your favorite book? Well, thank you for asking, Seth. That is a difficult question to answer. Favorite book? I think I'm going to hit y'all with a curveball on it. My favorite book is probably Jurassic Park. I like a lot of fantasy. I like, Douglas Adams with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I like Terry Pratchett's Discworld stuff. I love Joe Abercrombie's grimdark fantasy, etc., etc. But Jurassic Park is the book that I've read many, many times over, and I just love Michael Crichton's combination of near factual science wrapped into extrapolating, taking that forward to a cool, crazy idea and then making it scary. I just love that combo. It just tickles me the right way. Very fun stuff. Big fan of Crichton. What about you, Seth? What's your favorite book? It's a hard question to answer, but pick one. You can do it. Jade, you said I use Scrivener mostly, but I've been using Google Drive for a co-writing project. That's a good use of it. Jade. Does make co-writing very easy. Scrivener is super powerful, though. It's a very strong program. Does a lot of cool stuff. I've used it myself in the past until I had the syncing issues between my Mac and my computer. It's got a lot of good features, right? I'm pretty impressed with it. Tommy boy, good morning, my friend. Welcome in. How you been? How you doing? We're down to the last 15 or so minutes here, and almost at that word goal. But glad you could stop by for a little bit. Hopefully we can pack it all in quick here. How you been, man? How you been doing? Gio, you said I remember the book for Jurassic Park being particularly gruesome, especially compared to the movie. Yeah, Gio, Jurassic Park is a little bit intense, the book versus the movie. But it makes the dinosaurs very scary. I really like that, especially in the sequel, The Lost World. Again, very scary. The dinosaurs are like horror monsters more than they are dinosaurs, and I really like that. It's a pretty frightening book, and I'm here for it. Like I said, I like horror movies, but I'm a big scaredy cat. I like horror books, but still, I'm a big scaredy cat, but I enjoy the feeling. Seth, you said I never knew there was a book. Yeah, a lot of folks don't know. Crichton wrote Jurassic Park the novel and also the screenplay for the movie side by side. They knew they were going to make a movie out of it, so he kind of did them side by side. So they tie in nicely, but the novel is a little different, and I think the movie's incredible. I love the movie. The book is every bit as good, maybe with a little bit of a rough beginning, but I think it's worth it if you stick with it. Poison Apple Tea, you said, how do you decide how magical to make a world, since it changes how magical characters are viewed? Good question, and that's a 1 of 2, so I think there's another one coming. But to the first part of it, I I think it depends on the story itself, Poison, and how much I want to write. But I tend to make magic in stories a product of the world itself, so it relates to the story that I'm trying to tell, essentially. Oh, there's part two. I just missed it. So you said, to read it in full, you said, how do you decide how magical to make a world? Since it changes how magical characters are viewed, / treated, or encountered. Like I said, I think it's more a product of the story. So for reference, in Servant of Rage, if we go to my books over here, Servant of Rage in the top left is a gritty action fantasy. So the magic is very much combat focused. And I wanted it to be a powerful new thing, so it's not particularly established in the world prior to the events of the story. So that was kind of how I determined what level of magic to have there. And then I just let it grow creatively as I was working through the book. For something like Wriggly Little Hands, it's a little less serious because that's a comedy. So the magic's not too important. It's more about the jokes in the book, really. And it's satirizing fantasy, so the magic is there as a plot element and as well as, a source of comedy. I think really it just comes down to what you want to do, what fascinates you the most. I think you pick what level of magic you want personally, and then find how it relates to the story. What are you most fascinated by? I tend to do a slightly more low magic world for most of my stuff, but who knows? That might change. It's really a book-by-book decision. So I guess, I'm sorry, I don't really have a clean answer for you. It's just kind of whatever feels right for the story / whatever I'm most interested in at the time, I'd go with. Tommy boy, you said you're not doing bad. How about me? Oh, we're doing good, man. We're rocking and rolling. We're about ready to hit our word goal for the day. And then I got exciting work today, y'all. Sometimes as an author, you got to do a lot of hard work. Sometimes you get to have fun. My work today, I got one of my proof copies of Wriggly Little Hands here, and my work today is to read it. I'm going to read most of the book today and catch typos and whatnot in here. So I'm excited. It's a bit of an easier work day. I've been working really hard lately, and I'm going to enjoy today, kicking back and catching all of the typos that I can before we go to our final launch edition of the book. So that'll be fun. That'll be an easier day. Seth said, I wish you did that. The show was better than the books. Rare occurrence. I think you is a media. It's a show or a book, is what you're saying. Let me Google it. Yes. Oh, okay. I watched several episodes of that on the screen of the person in front of me on an airplane once. So I am decently familiar with it. And by decently, I mean poorly, because I had no audio and was trying to figure out what was going on as I was watching from one row back. But you think the show is better than the books. Interesting. That's cool. Props to the showrunners. Did a very good job there, it sounds like. Poison, you think that was a good answer? Well, I'm glad it helped. I didn't feel particularly satisfied with it, but I'm glad that it helped. Sometimes y'all ask questions that I haven't really thought about, and I have to formulate my thoughts in answering them, so I appreciate that. I appreciate those sort of questions. Seth, you're reading Republic of Pirates. Now, I've heard of that. Let me pull it up real quick. The Republic of Pirates. That sounds fun. It's giving me Black Sails vibes. Sounds like a fun read. Rock on, dude. Glad you're having fun with it. Poison Apple Tea says it brings the adult book fair vibes we love here. Yeah, let's go. We are a fan of that. Y'all, I have to make sure that I get off stream a little bit earlier today because Erin is leaving for work travel and I want to see her off. So let's go ahead and queue up our last writing sprint so we can hit our word goal for the day. And then I need to run right after that. So you know what? We're going to abbreviate this one a little bit. Let's do 3 minutes. So I can chat with y'all a bit afterwards, and then I got to dip and see Erin off for her work travel. Hey, 3 minutes on the clock. And I think we're going to jump right into that sprint here in just one moment. Impage, you said, what D&D class interests you the most or would be most interested in creating a story around? Impage, great question. I appreciate it. I've thought a lot about this between Baldur's Gate, writing, creating character sheets for characters and books for fun. I think Paladin is the most story role play wise interesting class. There's a lot of story elements baked into that class. Mechanically, they're a little bit boring. So I'd love to write a story. I think it'd be fun to write a story about someone balancing, the moral questions of paladins trying to choose to do what's right and not break their oath. I think that's very interesting. I think also it allows a lot of interesting opportunity for them to willfully break their oath when they find something that goes against it that they believe in, and then suffering the consequences of it, of not being able to use their power and whatnot, and eventually going to find a way to resolving that. I think these are all very interesting story points that I would love to write about. But I think every D&D class has a lot of potential. I think we could also use more books about true wizards, like truly squishy characters. That like the trend right now in progression fantasy is to do like mage warriors, where they get all the benefits of being a wizard but also have like high constitution and stuff. And I'd really like to see more wizard characters that are like straight up, nah man, if the bad guy sneezes on this guy unblocked, wizard's down for the count. They got like 10 HP, but boy oh boy can they cast spells. I think having weaknesses in your character is very important and makes for interesting stories, as the characters have to work around those weaknesses. Impage says, gasp, how dare you call my boy boring. No, I'm with you, Impage. I play Paladin a lot in D&D. It's that and Barbarian are my chosen classes. I think they're very interesting, but sometimes Paladins can just turn into a smite machine. It's just, hit, did I get a crit? Okay, use smite. I like to make them more interesting where possible. Geo with the Barbarian gang, always a fan of it. Look, Barbarians are just plain fun. Just plain fun. I said constraints are fun. They make more interesting stories, and Barbarians are a great class for giving yourself constraints to work within. How do you solve a puzzle if you have to play a low intelligence character, right? That's a super fascinating question, and I find the answer quite fun. There's a lot of ways to go about it. All right, y'all. Let's do one more writing sprint here. One more to finish it off. Hit that word goal. I'm 54 words away. We can knock that out. Let's get there. Let's get to that word goal. So y'all, if you want to sprint along with me one last time for stream today, let's get it. Good luck to you, and I hope that it goes well for us. Let's get some words on page and then wrap things up here. Oh, 37 seconds left, and I haven't hit the word goal. Whew, I guess I underestimated how short that timer was. All right, that's got to be time, so let me just finish this thought. Boom. All right. There it is. Our little abbreviated writing sprint there at the end got me over the word goal. So, hey, cue the fireworks. We got there. We got there. If you were sprinting along with me, y'all, as always, let me know how it went. Hey, D. Kyle, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. I am having a good day. I am having a good day. Chase Garrett. And thank you for the heart me and Geo Grim for the tiny diny. That's super kind to you, man. Appreciate you. Love the tiny diny, little tiny arms. Wonderful gift, the best one on TikTok. Thank you for that, my friend. Kyle, welcome in though. Good to see you, man. I am having a great day. Even better now that we've hit the word goal. Cassidy, good morning. Welcome in. We appreciate you popping in for the end of it. As well, not Chase Garrett, thank you for getting in, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Right, you get just in time to celebrate hitting the word goal. Always fun. Celebratory tiny diny, says Gio. Well, thank you. And Chase, thank you for the rose and for the cap. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Y'all coming in right at the end here to bestow some gifts. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. And the level up sparks. Woo, that's a fun one. Thank you, Chase. Or not Chase. I appreciate it. No, for real. Thank you very much. Y'all, like I said, I regret, but I have to run a bit early today because Erin is leaving for travel. So I need to see her off for the day as she goes on her business travel. Coach, thank you for the tiny diny. I appreciate that. Y'all, I'd love to say a more proper, longer goodbye, but I got to dip. So, I will say, one, thank you for being here. Thank you for the gifts. Y'all just dropping them like crazy now. Thank you very much. And, folks, you know the drill. A special thanks, as always, to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which provided our background music today. As well, an extra special thank you to community member Raffi the Engineer, who provided our newest background song, Midnight at the Round Table. Raffi, you rock, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for the gifts still coming in, everybody. Money Gun. Holy cow, that one's got to be cool. I'll have to see that in the VOD. That was sick. Thank you. Thank you, Chase. Folks, as always, if you've enjoyed this stream, give me a like and a follow so we can hang out next time. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, having a little bit of fun. We might do a writing stream tomorrow. We'll see. But hey, I will be here and we'll be doing something involving fantasy and writing and creativity, so I hope to see y'all with me. I'll drop the Discord link in chat one last time if you want to join the community. Want to have some fun once the stream ends? Well, the party keeps going there, so come check us out on Discord. Everybody, thank you for being here with me today. I appreciate y'all. As always, Not Chase Garrett, Geo Grim, Poison Apple Tea, Coach Kyle, Impage, Serb, Seth, other name wasn't available, Cassidy Cook, Ronnie, IJ. Thank y'all for being here with me, as well as everybody over on YouTube, Bo and Peter Marsh and Ian Garcia Grant. Thank y'all. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Ronnie, thank you for popping in at the end here. Sorry we didn't get more time, but always good to see you. Folks, thank you for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to catching you here tomorrow. Same time, same place, but some new fun. Y'all, have a good one. Appreciate you being here.